Julian, is your
Recording
microphone
is
visible?
on.
Okay, so hi everyone, we're recording now. This is a Bitcoin design product review call with the Simple Crypto team represented here by Yannick and Julian. And I will not talk very much here. I'll just hand it over straight to them to introduce who they are and what their project is about, and then any potential design, UX experience, feedback that they would like.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks so much, Christoph, for organizing this call. And I'm happy to meet you guys. And my name is Yannick, and I co-founded along with Julian App Learning, which is a company focused on Bitcoin education. And basically, the story about us is that we found each other during our studies. And I'm quite passionate about Bitcoin. And Julian is a very professional app developer. And so we sat together and thought about this issue that people have issues in getting familiar with Bitcoin. So what is their first contact, basically? And we really thought, how can we simplify this process of onboarding people to Bitcoin and provide a high signal to noise ratio. And so we developed our app course, which is called Simple Crypto Master Bitcoin. And it's right now a one-time course where one can go through the basics of money, basics of Bitcoin, all along through blockchain technology, mining and wallets, and the whole journey for like an hour, and then gets certified with his personal name on it. And our goal is to make it more accessible for everyone. So we first launched our app in German, in our native speaking language. So we both are from Munich, Germany, southern part of Germany. And then we launched it in English. And later on, when we heard about the legal tender introduction in El Salvador, we also translated it to Spanish with the help of a Venezuelan guy. And so we thought, okay, we can support at least these three languages where we're kind of familiar with to make it more accessible for people. And so far, over 65,000 people downloaded our app. Not everyone went through the course, obviously, but at least they made some chapters through it. And we founded then a company after our studies in October, so 3 months or 4 months ago. And since then, we also developed new features, which is a Lightning reward feature. So if you go through the app and you're learning about Bitcoin, answering questions, short quizzes and stuff, then you get rewarded with your first Satoshis, which you can instantly withdraw to your personal Lightning wallet. So we don't keep any custody of coins or something. I mean, it's just a payout to the user as a reward for learning about Bitcoin. We call this learn to earn principle. And our goal is to make it more accessible. But we both are kind of technical people, and we introduced a design system for our app. But I mean, there's always room for improvement. And that's why I'm happy to join this call today along with Julian and get some feedback or grab some feedback from you guys, because you're the experts, and we'll be happy to get some criticism, obviously, to improve our product in the long run. And our goal is also right now to introduce new learning sections. So we call this Learn More. It's more content, which I'm currently developing on. And also we will provide a newsfeed and stuff where we like filter the content which is relevant for a lot of people. And we're also going to launch it in multiple languages. So far we're just supporting Spanish, English, and German. But with the help of AI and native speakers, we will introduce it to various other languages. So there's basically no burden in that right now. And that's it for now. Maybe already someone has some questions, or Julian, you can also say some words about yourself.
Yeah. One question: should we just make a quick walkthrough through the app, or do you think? Yeah, I don't know.
A walkthrough is a great idea. I don't know how many. I went through the whole app today. I don't know if others have, but still,
Yeah,
it's
I
good to
will
hear it
just.
from your perspective as well.
Yeah, I will just join with my phone quickly, and then.
Is that a Munich airport mug?
Yeah, that's some merchandise here in the region. Yeah.
All right. Check. Okay. So in 3 seconds, you should see my screen.
I see it.
Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Perfect. So here see our app, Simple Crypto. We have one screen where the overview of the chapters are. So this is our course from the beginning, from money, and then the user is going deeper and deeper into the technology and into Bitcoin. And so if you click on one of those chapters, you have like some submenus, some sub-chapters. For example, here history of money, and then you get to the content where you have like some short descriptions and short bite-sized content. So it's like yeah, a very in a short manner you can learn a lot, and then in the between you also have like those short questions where you review your knowledge and see if you understand it everything. And then in the end, you can also, I will just quickly go through the content to get to the end. And then you can finish chapters. And then at some point you want to make a quiz where you like review the whole knowledge which you learned in the whole chapter, which is looking like this. So you have some basic questions about the content. Then if you finish this, I mean I can also show you this. Ah, okay, no, I can't show you this now, but for example, if I would finish this quiz now, you get also some game points in the end. And then those game points can be used to like participate in a spinning wheel thing game. So when you click on here, the wheel will be spin, and then in the end you will receive some satoshis, and those satoshis then in the end can be withdrawn. So if I would click on, for example, Moon, then my Moon wallet will be started and immediately the satoshis will be withdrawn. So we want to reward the user for learning with us and to keep studying, and also to keep in touch to have the first touch with the Lightning technology and Bitcoin. So yeah, this is a basic course in our app. As Yannick already said, we will introduce a like next screen there, which has more content in there. And then you also have like a overview with some basic keywords which are related to Bitcoin. You can click on them and then it will be loaded. And in the end, you can also receive a certificate which will show a PDF which you can also share on social media and so on. And then we have like a profile view where you have some more settings, and you can join our Telegram channel or join us on Twitter and some basic stuff. So yeah, that's like a quick walkthrough. Do you want that I go somewhere specifically in the app, or do you have any questions already?
I think we can also add up to that we also have some onboarding view, so it's not like we don't explain the user what to do. Like if you download it for the first time, obviously you're not logged in, and you get your onboarding screens at first where we explain, okay, what is the learn to earn feature, what is this app about. There are a couple of onboarding screens.
Yeah, it's like this.
Here they are. And we also have some animations integrated. And from a user or from a design perspective, we're curious about, I mean, how could we improve? What could be animated, for example? How do you like this format in general? Would you show it to your mother or grandma? You think it's a suitable approach? Or just general feedback would be interested to discuss.
So quick, thanks for that overview. Quick question in the group. Who has tried this out already? Who's used it? You can, if you want to, you can just use there's like a raise lower your hand feature, and there's a little arrow next to it in that bottom bar, and you can do oh, Himanshu, perfect. Yeah, please just go ahead, Himanshu.
Yeah, so can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, so hi everyone, I'm Himanshu, and hi Christoph. It's been a while. So yeah, before coming into the call, I was pretty excited about what to expect from this app, since it's also based very closely on what I did last summer. So yeah, I gave the app a go, and first of all, it's just incredible, I must say, and the visual design is on point, and there's a lot of good features about the app, and there's also some improvements that I felt could be there. But overall, I think it's a very great app, and you guys give a good incentive to spin the wheel and earn some sats while learning. So yeah, one main thing I felt in the app was like I also read this as one of the feedback given on the GitHub, uh, repository, that uh, there are like too many onboarding screens. So what might happen is that the users might lose focus, or they might get confused when they go to the end, and that can be a drawback, especially when you want to bring new users to the board. So in Padawan, what we did was that we had like four screens, and there was a screen tracker basically. So you would know which screen you are on, and the illustrations and like the points were very concise, and I love that already. But I think these screens are a bit of an issue, and they can definitely be improved in the Go.
Yeah, thank you for your input. As you said, I already saw it today on the GitHub. Right. I mean, we had six onboarding screens, and that's probably too much, as you said. I never thought about it, but when I wrote it, or when I saw his comment, then I yeah, had to agree, of course. And I think we will like adjust it a little bit and focus more on the core features. So we see if there's improvement for the users, because obviously they just want to dig into the app and not read too much about it. So valuable feedback. Thank you. But
Yeah,
do you also have some more feedback for us for the design?
yeah, I have quite a few points, but I think everybody should chime in, because I'll just keep going and on, and I think we can discuss it collectively. So yeah.
Okay, does anyone else want to chime in? Maybe specifically on the onboarding topic. If not, then Himanshu, the stage is yours.
Yeah, so I think I get the very minimalistic and simple feel to the app, and I think the uh, uh, app itself, it works brilliantly because the animations are quite simple as you move throughout the app. There's nothing much forcing going on, right? But one thing I felt was that in onboarding itself, the animations can be a bit more visual in nature. I love that you guys are keeping it simple. The illustrations are very simple, but I think the uh, some of the motion design elements definitely help you get the user's attention more, and I think that's something that can be experimented with on the onboarding itself. What do you guys think?
Himanshu, could you maybe give an example? Are you talking about the onboarding animations, or were there specific animations in like when you're in a chapter that?
This would be really helpful. Yeah.
Like throughout the chapters or something?
Yeah, so take a look at my background here
Yeah.
in my video. So I took a lot of screenshots. Like here in the center, where you have these, two people with a Bitcoin and this circle, like this arrow around them. Is this the type of animation that you're referring to? Like some of these?
Uh, Yeah, so like it can be combination of different things. Like what we did in Padawan was we had like two to three vector elements, and they can be like animated. Like in Figma, we have Smart Animate, so you can kind of create some maybe a parallax or maybe a very intuitive animation. Like what we did was there was a flow when where we had to explain how the Bitcoin is sent. So we took two people, and we put a coin in one of the person's head and we animated it towards the other person, so it's kind of symbolic of what is happening. So these little things, I think, definitely help in, making the experience great, especially in a chapter, because the user's first point of attention is obviously the element that's moving on the screen. So yeah.
Definitely, I agree with you on that. That if it's a little bit more animated, it's more motivating maybe for users, and it's not too static. Then I think one has to find a balance between animations and static content that people are not too much distracted from what they are reading. So if we would have animations on every screen, then people would not read the text anymore, I think. But yeah, you have a point on that. The only thing that's holding us back is the time spending for creating animations. I don't know if you guys know about Lottie, which is something I think Airbnb developed. It's a tool where you can upload SVG files, and then you can choose various animations for it. So currently, we are using that tool for animating more content, and it's right now only on the onboarding screen. If you saw that already, so on the onboarding screen, you have some animations with the icons, but we will introduce them to more dynamic content, which is short questions or quizzes right now. So where you have like interactions from the user side, these will be more interactive. But from the reading part, I think it's important also not to distract the user from uh, what they are reading, because I mean they have to process this new type of information and not be too distracted. So that's my take basically on that.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah, I think that's an important point that you made, because like I was mainly suggesting to use some motion on, maybe let's say, the first page, or only wherever it's necessary, not the entire reading material, because yeah, people will be distracted. And also, yeah, in the case of Lottie, again, you can do a lot of experimentation basically. So are you guys using it in the JSON format for development?
One question I had is, what's the difference between tickets and sats? Or do I redeem tickets for sats, and if so, how much?
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, we can't offer the user directly satoshis, because otherwise we would store the satoshis in our app, or Apple would say, okay, we store the satoshi in our app. So we have to overcome like this policy thing from Apple, and we make a like yeah price tournament or something. I don't know how the English word for this is, but yeah, you can win some sats, and it's not that determined how many sats you win for each ticket. But yeah, as you can see on the spinning wheel, it's around 10 to 210 satoshis per spin. So yeah, it's very likely that you get around 50 sats per each spin.
So one ticket equals one sat.
No, not exactly. Like it's not determined in the beginning. You have to spin the wheel, and then after you spin the wheel, like one spin costs you around 300, depending on where you locate it. And yeah, if you spin,
Oh,
you get some sats back. So it's like yeah,
so
winning.
I'm using tickets for the spin wheel.
Yes, yes, yes. So it's like your spinning fee. How to say?
So you collect tickets basically, and as Julian said, it's mainly from the Apple and Google policy standpoint, because you're not allowed to pay out users in an app.
I wanted to step back a little bit from some of the details, but also related to the question just now. So here in my background, there was a review on the App Store that said, so I've been using Simple Crypto for a short amount of time. Would I be able to use the certificate on a resume to help with future jobs? And I think that goes a little bit to the motivation of why someone may want to learn. So there is someone who's just really curious, and this app helps them satisfy their curiosity, something we also just talked about in the previous call about user motivation. Then the second one is what we just talked about. They want to earn some sats and become get away from being no coiners to Bitcoiners. And then there's this idea of this certificate, which I did look at the website and in the app, and you're saying you can get this certificate and it's personalized, but you're not really saying what you can do with it and what you cannot do with it. So I was wondering if you have insight into what what you found that the typical what your users are motivated by, if you have an idea, and then also how you like what have people used this certificate for, and what how do they look at it, and how do you look at it maybe?
So in the first like few days ago, some people already used our certificate to share on LinkedIn. This didn't happen that much before, but yeah, people yeah getting used to like sharing it, and but I think it's just yeah like a small gimmick, like a small motivation for people. But yeah, as you said, maybe we can yeah establish our certificate for Bitcoiner jobs. But I don't know how to do this. It might be a little bit difficult to establish some such thing for yeah.
I mean, we're not claiming to be some sort of authority which yeah, claims to be the ones who can say, okay, you know, uh, everything about Bitcoin, and we are the only ones who can provide valuable information. That's definitely not the case. As Juliet said, it's more like to motivate people, to give them a structure about how to learn about the subject. That's why we're also starting with money as the first chapter, because it's the most important thing to start off when digging into the subject, and not starting with mining, obviously. And on the certificate itself, it says, like the person completed this and this and this chapter. And we just thought it as some sort of reward also for our users, because I mean, it's nicely designed, I think, but I mean, we can discuss this as well. But it's just something, people can have for themselves as some sort of achievement. And as Julian said, some people are posting it either on LinkedIn or on Twitter. We also saw it in the past. Or if there was not something working for them, they even wrote us a mail, "Oh, I want the certificate," and stuff. So it's just something tangible for people to receive. And we also like implemented it before we had the Satoshi rewards. So initially, that was like the main motivator for people to complete the course or to dig through all this material, because then they received something personalized, which they can see or view as an achievement.
Yeah, that makes sense. So it's some people take it pretty serious, but you're not intending it to be some, I don't know, business or official, I don't know, it's like a Microsoft Excel, whatever certificate, right?
No, definitely not. I mean, we cannot do that, and I don't want to claim that in any
Yeah,
legal way or something. So it's just a nice perk for people,
yeah,
to give them also something back for the time spent on reading material or completing courses.
yeah. Nice. Awesome. Were there any other questions by anyone around the certificate, around the Satoshi rewards, around user motivation?
I've got a question on the content really quick. So somebody made a nice comment on the bottom here. Are they unlocking the chapters, or can they click freely into whichever chapters inside the money screenshot?
Inside the subchapter view, or below the money chapter, you can freely choose which one you want to start off. And right now, you don't even have to do complete one chapter or a subchapter to do the quiz. But I think we will change that, because of people are, mostly they just want to challenge themselves at first. But we want them really to study the material. And so but we don't want to have it like fully structured. So let's say, okay, you need to read history of money at first before you can dig into money creation. It's just like, okay, inside the money chapter, one can choose which interests the most, and then they have to go through chapter by chapter. But it's just for the course. So what we're doing right now is introducing the learn more section, where one can choose freely between different subjects and topics, like earning Bitcoin, spending Bitcoin, economics 101, or stuff like that. So this will be more like a section of the app where one can like really choose freely what they want to do. But for a course, I think, or one property of a course is to have it more like in a structured way, and that's what we are approaching with it.
So the screenshot above in Discovery, these courses are locked then? You have to go through money first, then Bitcoin and blockchain and so on and so forth?
Yes.
Interesting. One visual that could be cool, I like that you darkened it, but one thing could be cool is like connecting the circles in some shape or form to show like a path. Yeah.
Do you think it's mandatory? Is it not like self-explaining with the path?
Oh no, it's definitely not mandatory at all. Yeah, it's just a nice idea.
Okay. Okay, yeah, I think we have to see how it, looks like. If we draw too many lines, maybe that would ruin the UI. But maybe. Well, what do you have in mind? How would it look like?
Yeah, I think like in Duolingo, there's like roads that you kind of go through, like that connects from each section to each section, and so it feels like you're going on a journey.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's not. This is pretty self-explanatory too.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Interesting point. Yeah.
Interestingly, Duolingo, they just recently went from pretty much what you have to a path. And there was a lot of strong user feedback. You can see it in my background. There was a lot of strong user feedback. A lot of people don't like the path because it took away their ability to just because it was not completely locked previously. You had
Right.
a possibility to choose between a few different ones within a certain chapter, and they just went to a very linear path. But one comment I had on this one was, so when you click on something else, it's not locked. It just says, please complete the chapter Bitcoin first, and then all you can do is press OK. I think it would be great if here, instead of OK, it would just say let's go, and it would take me directly to where I should take off, like the next thing that I should be doing. So I don't have to go back and find it, but it's like maybe a little cancel button in the top right corner, and then a let's go. Or let's do it now, or let's get learning or something. And then it would take me straight into the content. And that is a comment that I also had on, I think on the spinning wheel, where it said something like, oh, not enough tickets, right? Well, how do I get tickets, right? Take me to the place where I get tickets, or get more tickets, and it takes me into the learning experience. But Lynn, you wanted to say something. Please go ahead.
Hey, thank you. So it was just about the paths bit again. So what I think it's really cool that you've like laid it out of like the different chapters and that things are grayed out. But there isn't necessarily an indicator as to whether someone's completed a chapter or not. And I know that you have that in the on the actual like content pages. You've got a tick when they've completed a section. But I think some sort of progress bar maybe around each icon would be beneficial for the user to see kind of how far they've gotten with a particular section.
Actually, we got that. Sorry to interrupt you, but if you go through it, then we have like a check mark on chapter level as well. It's the same one we have in the subchapter view.
Yeah, but I think it would be nice to actually see like progress. So if someone's done maybe one section of a chapter, it's like there's
okay. Mm-hmm.
kind of showing how much they've actually completed within a specific chapter, as opposed to whether they've completed it or not.
Okay, yeah, good point.
So kind of comparing it to Duolingo, I think they have something like that as well, where they have around a chapter, they've got like an outer circle which closes once it's finished. So the user can kind of see how many sections, how far they've gotten within a specific chapter. So I think that can be quite good for the user.
Yeah, good point. Thank you. I think we definitely have to think about it, how we can use it as a motivator for users with maybe a ring or something.
Yeah, definitely. And I had another I had another comment, if that's okay,
Sure.
within the content section. So I noticed that you have some text which is bold and then other text which is highlighted in yellow. I just want to clarify, is the highlighted in yellow text, is that kind of text that leads to some sort of interaction? Does it lead to like a description or yeah, okay.
Yeah, that leads to the glossary entry. So when you click on it, then the glossary opens. So then the word is like defined. If the person is not aware what that means, for example, they can click on it and then they see a detailed definition of it.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. And I think that's a really good thing. I guess I think that maybe needs to be clearer. Maybe like I feel like the yellow isn't prominent enough. I feel like the bold text stands out a bit more than the highlighted yellow text. So I feel like maybe it's about bolding and highlighting or using a slightly different color to make that clear, or an underline or something that shows a bit more that it's like there's like an interaction there, and just so it's more prominent, because I think the bold stands out a bit more.
Yeah, good point. I also thought about this in the past, and I thought like, maybe we can do some sort of link symbol or something, but then it doesn't look so good inside the app. So what would you suggest? Like using other colors or?
Yeah, I think maybe if the text itself is a different color and is bold, or there's like an underline as well, as opposed to just the highlight, because I just don't think that that's as visually prominent as the text that is just bolded.
I also had this in my feedback because I just tapped around and tried to figure it out. Something you can also try to do is that the first time the user encounters this, that you have a little tooltip or so, like click the yellow highlights to find out more or so, and then you teach the user how the UI works, and maybe you don't need it afterwards then anymore.
Sure, it makes sense. Yeah, the thing is, I don't know if users will forget about it if we just show them one time. I mean, maybe it's a better approach to like make it more visually differentiating, as she proposed. Yeah, we have to give it a try. I mean, we have to see what users use most, because actually we also reward them if they read these definitions. So this should be like an incentive for people to open them. But what we just found out today, that a lot of people, I mean, they don't have a clue about that they can do it. So it's a really valid point. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm talking here without anyone being able to hear me. So here we go. I wanted to draw some, because Steven's here, I wanted to ask him about something, because he works at Voltage, and I tried to withdraw sats from 5 different wallets, and only wallet of Satoshi worked. I captured all the error messages that I got. And Steven, right while we were on the call here, he was sharing in Slack some feedback on this for me. So I thought he could just hop in and maybe share in person.
Oh, hey there. Yeah, I don't have a ton to say on that note, but I do UX UI at Voltage. So I mean, obviously, of course, if you're running into any issues with your node, you can contact Voltage support and they'll help you out. But one thing, I was just looking at the error messages Christoph was getting, and it looked like so the L and URL withdrawal, And so I was assuming that might be going through like the Ellen Bits dashboard or something that we provide. So, I mean, that could have a number of reasons. I mean, it could be the node was turned off or something when he went, tried to ping it, or I don't know. I mean, it could have been some network connection thing. So I think if it's a recurring problem, that's something to look into. But one idea I had was just like, I think from a usability perspective, I think any wallet that tries to, or any product that tries to implement LN URL withdrawal is going to run into this problem where you give the user an LN URL withdrawal link, and then they tap it and it takes them to another Bitcoin wallet. And then once they get to that other Bitcoin wallet, you no longer control the error message that they see. So you don't have control over like how intuitive or explanatory the error message they get is. So one idea I had when I was looking at those is there's probably a way that you could ping the LN URL endpoint in the background from your app just to make sure it's live before you generate the LN URL link for the user. That way, if there is a problem pinging the Lightning node, you can deliver the error message right there within your own app and kind of control the narrative. So that's what I got.
One question, Christoph, did you try the app today at 11 a.m. or was it?
That was today, yeah.
Okay, because that's weird because we had a lot of other withdrawals and it might be, I don't know, I have to check it out. I will check also those arrows because most of them, yeah, like we had like several other withdrawals and they worked. So
yeah, but I think I know what the issue is, but first of all, I think it's a good point that we show the error message inside the app. That's a really good point. But as you said, you tried it today. We had someone who exploited this mechanism yesterday, and they drained our balance in the Ellen Bits wallet, and they basically used an approach that they log in, log out, but we already closed this issue. So but what I did was not keeping too much on the wallet balance. So today there was not like big request did not go through until I had to top it up again. So that was kind of on intention that big request or a big amount of sats did not go through, because we are waiting basically the users update. So I think that is the main issue why it did not work for you. And during that time at 11:30, I was maybe around that or topping it up again. So this could be the main reason why it did not work. But maybe it's something else. But honestly, I think I'm quite sure that it's just about the balance on the Ellen Bits wallet, because it's, a separate wallet, of course, and it does not have too much balance on it.
Okay, that's good to know. I can try again tomorrow and let you know if I still have the same problems, and maybe it's something else. It's just very interesting that every wallet gives me a different error message, and none of them are really useful. Like, stuff's broken, sucks for you. The other one here I said was interesting was that when I pressed the default wallet, I always got no wallet installed. That was an interesting one. By the way, we recently spoke with the people at Thunder Games. They make these smartphone games that you also earn Satoshi rewards, and they said that as soon as you give out rewards, the exploiters will come. No matter how small the amount is, you will be exploited like crazy. So if you want help, maybe I could put you in contact with someone. If this is a real big hassle that takes a lot of time, there might be others that are willing to help.
And the good thing is we already closed this issue, so it's not possible anymore. But as you said, the exploiters are coming, even though they can just like get 10 cents or something. They do it again and again, and it also takes them a lot of time because there's no short way of doing that. But they're still doing it, and I don't mind too much. It's not too much money for us, but it was like a little bit, yeah. Well, not the best thing, but it's already closed. And actually, as you said, we talked with the Thunder guys before about this issue as well.
Oh, great. Good information sharing happening. Okay, so we have about 15 minutes left. Who would like to give some feedback or share some ideas or thoughts? Anything urgent you'd like to get off your chest, just raise your hand or simply start speaking. Either way is good. Okay, Himanshu, you were first. Please go ahead.
Yeah, so one thing I want to talk about is the first page in the content section. Like it has a lot of different chapters, uh, and the quizzes at the bottom. uh, and, I personally felt that because the quiz is a bit different from the normal chapters, maybe you can visually make it a little different, so that the user knows that, okay, yeah, this is not like a regular chapter and this is something else. Because if you just have a quick glance, it feels like it's pretty much the same. But it's just my suggestion. Yeah.
Do you have any specific in mind how it could look like? Would it be smaller or bigger, or would it be a round button, or any ideas?
uh, I would suggest you know going with a different color. I feel, because the same yellowish to golden, like this kind of golden gradient, giving it the same gradient makes it like a part of the same group. So maybe color is the best way to distinguish it. And maybe there can be some symbols. No, I think color, I think, is the main suggestion from my side. Yeah.
Hmm. Does anyone else have an idea how it could be look different, or do you have any typical designs of a quiz in mind, maybe?
How many questions are there in a quiz? Are they always? It's always the same amount.
No, it's not the same amount. It varies also on the content. I mean, when you go through the to the wallet section, there's not that much content. It's basically more focusing on telling people what the private key is, and to be um, um, aware, or to be, yeah, not to share it and stuff. So there's just like 4 or 5 questions, and on this quiz I think it's 8 to 9. So basically we vary basically on how much the user how much content they consume beforehand. Julian, what one thing would be interesting to share is our learn more section design. Could you maybe share it briefly, because it looks a bit different, not like the course. So it's not done yet. I mean, I'm basically writing or designing the content right now, but just from visual perspective, what do you guys think?
While he's pulling that up, by the way, excellent work on the content. I thought it was really good amounts of pieces and snippets. It was easy to read. It was just it was just very easy and convenient, and also just enough depth on everything. So I was happy with it. I don't know how did others feel about not the stepping into the content and not the UI. Daniel was happy with it. Give it a +1. I need to make it to the tougher sections, so I only did the initial ones. Maybe you kept those really easy.
Yeah, I mean, we do well what the app says. I mean, simple. So we really want to like focus on an audience which is not motivated on reading a book about the subject, or just spends a couple of minutes for a section, and keep it in easy to understand language. So that's really our approach, to focus on people who are not willing to, like, buy a book for it and stuff.
And also keep in mind that comes from my feedback comes from someone working in the industry for 2.5 years. What's easy to me may not apply to others. So Julian, did you want to share it? Do you have something or?
Now we cannot hear you.
I think I can't share it because you still share. So I think if you stop sharing, I can share my screen, because it always stops somehow.
Christoph is just doing a fancy background trick.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not, but it's, or do you see?
Now it shows up.
No,
Yeah.
now it's now it works.
That's a phone
Okay,
screen.
so all right, so you previously you've seen like this screen, and then when the user is like getting into it, getting deeper into it, or he just wants to get like deeper knowledge about it, he can also go to the learn more feature, which we currently build. So here you have like an overview, you have some filters, which you can filter depending on which kind of topic you want to see. Then you have like some highlighted topics, which we highlight because we think people might be interested in. And then other topics are ordered by categories, and you can also click on them, and then sometimes you get to like then you get to this kind of content view where you have like content about this topic, and you can also click on view all, for example here, and then you see like all those
I think it's just an old
those
version.
chapters.
Maybe if you can show the newest version, because then we still have like, looks a bit different right now. But I just see it because of the SVG support. But I mean, from the view, it kind of will look like it. We have like varying quotes, which will change always. They also like pushing up from the push notifications. And then we have like the structure with different subjects where we also will implement guides and tutorials on what to do with it, or embed also different services. So it's more like, content and guides 101. And as Julian already said, with the highlighted, we will target specific user bases, or based on the usage, or what the user is doing inside the app, we will like show up with new stuff, and trigger their interest.
Question, and this is probably not connected. I saw that there's an in-app purchase for Simple Crypto Premium or something, or Pro or so. Is this related to unlocking this extra content, or are these totally different things?
Yeah. Currently, you can unlock, like here we have like this chapter Lightning. You can unlock this with the in-app purchase, but later on we want to like monetize the app a little bit different. But this will be in a few weeks, and then we will introduce a kind of subscription model where you can like get the more deeper knowledge for some in-app purchases. But currently, it's just the one chapter we have behind the paywall. But the basic course will be always for free, so newbies can always get the education for free, just the more deep knowledge.
Gotcha. So on the screen that's in the application that's live right now, everything on this screen is free except for that Lightning one, but there's no
Yes.
indication for it.
No, not yet. But it's
Okay.
just it wasn't that serious like this one in a purchase, because we just thought, okay, we can put it in there and try out if people will pay for it, and we just tried out little things, but now we will make it more serious with monetization.
Yeah, makes sense. No, it's good to try these things. How has the response been?
Yeah, fine. Some people bought it, like those people who purchased or who completed the course, but as you see, it's like just one chapter, so not that many people bought it because the benefits are not that big. But in the future, the benefits will be big enough, so people want to try out the subscription or something. So yeah.
That's excellent. Two more questions around, and then I'll be quiet. Two more questions around learning. Are you ever linking out to external resources? And will you stay with the same text-based format, or you may be looking at video or personal calls, workshops?
We have a new view. So, I mean, Julian and I, we were in El Salvador in November, for example, and one thing I noticed multiple times was that people also have burdens when it comes to using apps. So, I mean, how we all learn is like looking at other people, what they're doing, and that's what our tutorial is for. So we will introduce a video format and how to do like specific transactions, for example, on different wallets and stuff like that, and embed that into our swipe format. So we have like a mixture of written instructions and video instructions to tell people what to do. And there's also the possibility of an in-app browser view where we can say, for example, okay, now look at this transaction on the mempool, and then one has to answer a question on the next screen about this transaction, for example, to test their knowledge and stuff. So we can really combine resources or external resources and reference back to our app, and then let users do some quizzes and practical guides, because I think that's a really important thing to showcase people not only like all the theoretical background and Bitcoin philosophy and so on, but also like how to use the technology in their daily life.
That's excellent. I think we have 5 minutes left. Maybe if someone has one more question or one more point of feedback. But otherwise, maybe I think you talked a little bit about your future and what you're going to do next. Were there any other questions? Just raise your hand or unmute and speak your mind. Anyone? Did you find there was any other important feedback from Daniel's GitHub issue that would be good to bring up or discuss?
From my side,
Yeah.
I mean, there was a lot of valuable feedback, so I was really, really happy about his honesty and telling us what he doesn't like about it. And I appreciate also what you guys also said about the app, because for us sometimes it's a little bit difficult to find critics, you know, like because you show them an app and some people say, like, if they're not so interested in the subject, oh, okay, cool stuff what you built there. So I appreciate all the feedback on it, and if you like after this call you will find something where you say, okay, this doesn't make sense, or either it's from the design perspective or from the content perspective, also always feel free to reach out to us and tell us how we could improve, because at the end of the day, you know, we want to make Bitcoin more accessible for all, and that's only possible if we get valuable feedback. And yeah, also thank you again to you, Christoph, for organizing this call. Was really insightful for us. And yeah, maybe we can do a second one in a couple of months and see where we built until then.
Yeah, I was about to say the app is not open source, right?
No, it's not open source.
Okay. Daniel's just saying, great work. All feedback was only meant as a help. That's excellent. But yeah, so you'll have to let us know, because it'll be really interesting when some of the feedback here was come up. You know, how you address it, if you share your progress, if you can post in that GitHub issue or on Slack or so. If you make updates, let us know, and maybe the people who give feedback, then they can test it again, and you know, we can have this conversation. So Himanshu just had a question. Where can I reach out to your team regarding design, general feedback, and discussion?
The best thing, honestly, is always on Telegram, if you use Telegram, because we spend a lot of time there. But if not, you can also reach out to us via mail, and we also recently created accounts on Twitter. So until now, we were not so present on social media, but we hope to change that in the future. But yeah, whatever channel suits you most, pick the one, and we're happy to read your feedback.
Yeah, and I think you had this nice thing in the profile page about reaching out also, which
Yeah, sure, that's also a possibility. Yeah.
So by the way, I had a question while we're on the profile page. Sorry, real quick. How do you get your? I tried to connect my account and I could not figure out how to change my name or add my profile picture.
What do you mean? Like where we get the data from, or what?
Yeah, you know, it says, hi, May 1013, please connect your account. I was like, I don't have an account yet. I don't know what to connect, and I'm not May 1013. Is it some placeholders, I assume, or do you have to like link your Google or something, and then
yeah. For example, if you want to spin the wheel, we want to have like the user logged in. So yeah, you can then log in with your social logins, for example, Twitter, Google, or Apple ID with your Apple ID, and like the May 1031 is just a placeholder we randomly generate. So we have some Bitcoiner names, and we append a random number behind it, so you get like a random name.
Gotcha.
When you don't have it.
Yeah. I used
Yeah,
to
that's
email
a
login.
placeholder.
That's why I didn't know probably. Awesome. Okay, cool. But I'll be quiet now. Sorry, was there one more thing from Himanshu? Oh yeah, you shared the links. Yeah, then otherwise, let's continue the conversation in Slack or Telegram or on Twitter. And thank
Sure.
you for presenting. Thank you everyone who joined. If you're watching this on YouTube or Bitcoin TV later, just reach out. I know there were some people in Slack that said they can't make it, but we'll watch it later. I'll hold you to it. And thank you all for joining here. A little bit more praise from Himanshu. And then I'll
Thanks a lot.
stop the recording here. And thank you all.
Yeah, thank you
Yeah.
too for your feedback. Really valuable, and looking forward to some new discussions with you. And yeah, really appreciate all the work you do.
I can only agree to that. Yeah. Thanks so much, guys.